last night was the Britney Spears Lifetime movie, Britney Spears Ever After, and it was nice. I mean, it wasn't the worst, it wasn't the best. I thought it was just nice. And that's good enough. It told the basic story. Now, the reason I don't go head over heels with it is because it just didn't get to the nitty gritty. What I mean by that is TV movies have a tendency to gloss over the details. Like they don't show it in pure at its rawest form. They will allude to things. Okay? They'll just and hope that you're smart enough to figure it out. And if you're not smart enough to figure it out, then you just move on to the next scene. So that's the my only complaint about the movie. But no doubt that Britney Spears is a star. Now, a lot of people throw shade her way, but she really is. The talent-wise, it seems like, people say, oh, she's not the best dancer. To be a star, you don't have to be the best at anything. You have to have something special about you that will capture an audience attention. Because there's no set formula for being a star. And I don't care how people evaluate you. The worst stars, this shit is a lot of work. The music industry is a lot of work. So if you could just hold your own on stage, kudos to you. But she just didn't hold her own on stage. She's been a star for a long time now. So you have to give her respect for that. I think that a lot of people don't give her enough respect for being talented just because she didn't invent her niche. Like, if you want to talk about singing, there's other people that sound better than her, but she holds her own. And she's done it for a long time. And she's at the top of her game. Because a lot of people fall off after 1 hour. Now, let's get so the movie starts out. She is at the beginning stages of her career. Now, this is what I mean about it's a nice movie. I would have liked to have seen what it took to get to have a successful career. But they kind of glossed over it. Your childhood is very important. Like, I wanted to know, did they make her work all the time? Was the mother living vicariously through her daughter? Was she a pushy mom, determined to make her kid a star? These things are important to me, okay? This is just to me. Now, other people would have glossed through it, and the movie glossed through it. But I wish they would have pushed that issue a little bit more. But maybe they only had so much time. She's already a star. She has her down-home Southern boyfriend that they make her hide. She's not the first star that they do that to. I don't know why they do that. If they think it makes you more desirable, and maybe it does. I think it's dumb, but I haven't studied the statistics. But what I do know is that when it messes with the star themselves, like when you have to hide who you are or you have to invent a new life, after a while it starts to wear on you. You're like, that's not even me. But, Britney isn't the only star that they've done this to. Okay, so fine. So she knows NSYNC, a lot of them, from when they were on the Mickey Mouse Club. And so she develops a relationship with Justin Timberlake in the early stage. Now, this is another thing I think the movie glosses over. They show her smoking cigarettes. We all know Justin has admitted many times he loves smoking weed. Okay. They show her smoking. Did they leave out the weed part? They show her smoking cigarettes. How do we know? How do we not know that she wasn't enjoying the weed with Justin? Okay? Because this brings in a whole different flavor. If you start smoking weed, we all know what they call weed. It's a gateway drug. I'm just saying. So they left that up to your imagination. Okay, fine. Let's just say it was cigarettes. things started getting difficult for her when she started dating Justin. But it wouldn't have just been, it's not just difficult for her because she's Britney Spears. She's at that age where she's growing up and she's experimenting with things, okay? So for right now, she's experimenting with sex, but she's telling everybody they're not. She's experimenting with cigarettes. That's what they're showing on the movie. I'm thinking she's experimenting with weed. Okay, fine. But Justin was a really good match for her because even though we live in the United States, there's groups within the United States. And living in the South is totally different than living in the limelight of being a star in Hollywood. Totally different. So why he was good for her is because he understood her roots and where she was from. And he was in the same boat that she was. But that wasn't enough. So now they show her getting close to Wade. What's his name? Robinson, whatever, her choreographer. And they're showing Justin being jealous. What they're leaving out? Come on. She had to have been having an affair with Wade. The way he was touching her in the court and showing her the dances is just not a way you touch somebody. Okay? That would explain things a little deeper why Justin got so mad. Because who would just get mad at a choreographer teaching someone dance moves? Okay, fine. That relationship dissipated. It deteriorated because Britney was venturing off into being Britney because she had already accomplished what no child should do, a successful career at an early age. Now it's time to work on my social life. That's with anybody in their 20s or early teens. I want to be me. And what they probably left off is her mom probably was like serious about making her a star. So she probably didn't have that much fun growing up. The fun that she wanted. The fun on her own. Not monitored fun. No one likes having monitored fun. That's why people go crazy when they go to college. No one wants to have monitored fun where you can only do this and this and this. She wanted real fun, especially if she was adventuring off into the drug world. Okay? I'm just setting the scene here. I'm just trying to tell you what I thought of it. So, but when that relationship that she caused to break up with Justin, that was the beginning of the end. Then she stopped wanting to be a star. She didn't want to completely stop, but I bet you there's times in every star's life where you just want to break from being a star. Not that you want to stop it, you just want to break so you can have real fun and then you can get back to being a star a little later, because being a star is 24 hours a day job. So she started going through a series of horrible, toxic relationships. Now, that's what they showed on the surface. Under what you have to read into, if she was having turbulent relationships in the public eye, there was a lot of one night stands she didn't talk about. there was a lot of celebrity relationships she probably didn't talk about. Like, she was having fun living her life. Nothing was wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. That's what most people do. The problem is you just can't do it when you are a star and a star on her level. Like she was at the top of her game. Okay, so I felt a little bad for her because we're all human. We all have the same wants, needs, and desires. And I just feel that if she probably would have went back to Kentwood when being in Hollywood get overwhelming, she probably wouldn't have had so many toxic relationships, and she would have felt a little bit more herself. But she didn't do that. And she couldn't do that. Like Jamie Lynn did that. And, look, when you do that, your career suffers. But you have to do it for your sanity. So it's, do I put career first? Do I put being a human being first? Well, she was at the top of her game. She couldn't put being a human being first. because so many people depended on her to be Britney Spears. So they show all of these toxic, ridiculous relationships, including Kevin Federline. Like, he just Kevin Federline was on the come up when he landed. He started with Char. She wasn't a big enough star. When Britney came into his life, he felt that he hit the jackpot, and he took it and ran with it, which was horrible because all she really wanted was a stable, regular life. And then she wanted to go back to being Britney Spears when she was ready, because she has this talent in her that she wanted to get out. So they showed her relationship with Kevin Federline, who she married and had 2 children with, and how he had no interest in being a father. He already had children with Shar Jackson. I believe it was like a couple. He was on the come up, so he just used her. She dated that one guy she married in Vegas. She was looking for stability, but she didn't want the stability to come from her parents, because at this point she was tired of listening to them, and they had problems on their own. So they glossed over the father's problems. They said he was an alcoholic, but I'm going to read a little more into that. I think it was more deeper than that. And with anybody, when your parents break up, that's the end of your base. So Britney had a lot going on. A lot. And on top of that, they said she took diet pills. I'm going to read a little bit more into that. It was either Adderall, which all of Hollywood is on. And everybody knows that Paris Hilton is famous for taking Adderall. The whole Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie group. And remember, she was hanging with them for a while. So Adderall is just a legal form of cocaine. Like, that's all it is. When she brought the drugs into the picture, that was the whole shaving of the head period, things were spiraling out of control. And she didn't want to listen to her parents. And then when you're that famous and that rich, you get hanger-oners like Sam Lufty. When people start saying, I'm the only one that can help you, that's usually a sign for you to get rid of them. But she just really went through a tough time. Now, on paper, you would think she's rich, she's famous. What's so tough about that? Every life has its problems. So it looks like she pulled herself out of it with the help of her parents. They finally came together, devised a plan, got her father to be her conservator, got rid of the hanger-oners, and brought some stability back into her life, which was going to happen eventually anyway, because she was tired of listening to her family, but she has a very strong bond with them. And every family has their problems. So, but they love each other and they look out for each other. So that's pretty much was the movie. I enjoyed it. I feel like it left a lot off, but maybe, she's not ready to tell her story yet. I don't know. But it was pretty good. And it also showed that she's a true star and she is very talented and she's going to be around for a long, long time. So that was last night's movie. Britney Spears Ever After. Pretty good. Now, thanks for watching. Talk to you next time. Bye.